for some reason. The server seems fine. QuickBooks shit on the server seems fine. It's just like it doesn't do anything when they run it on the PCs, and they have network connectivity, so I'm a little bit at a loss what's going on, but I was only remoted into the server, and I need to get to his...
Does it happen on multiple users? Or
every time I had problems with QuickBooks, the way that they're setting it up is it's always like usually like something wrong with the DNS or something, like host file or something will fix it, because it's...
Well, I'll dig into all that. I just didn't. I wait an hour, and he said,
depends on how they're set up. I didn't set them up this last time. So.
Well, I know how they're set up, and I haven't had any DNS issues. This is actually the first, well, not the first issue. They had, they couldn't the company file into multi-user mode, and then there was user logins issues, but we got all that straightened away. Now everything's been fine, except it was fine yesterday, but they said something happened yesterday towards the end of the day. They got an error, and then they just went home, apparently. And nobody remembers what that was. Apparently the first thing you...
It's hard to interrupt you to tell you the show's live, because you just keep streaming on and on and on. But we are live now. Welcome to the Foolish Tech Show.
Awesome, and we're talking about QuickBooks issue at the only client we take care of that's not a computer tech. But
yeah.
Anyhow, I'll explore the details of that with them after the show today, and hopefully I'll get to the bottom of it pretty quickly. Hopefully.
Alright. Cool.
Let's see. I was gonna try to pick up MAME because of such the piss poor performance that we did with MAME on the last time. I don't remember when that was, frankly. Let's see. I want to bring everyone's attention to a really cool MAME guide.
Is that what the show's about today? Or are we recapping from another?
Well, we tried to do this the other day, and it just never really got anywhere. Yeah. So that's a good site as well, and that's basically going to tell you everything, the ins and outs about MAME. And then there's also this. This is a front end for MAME that was very popular, and I just took a look at that, and I think that's a pretty good, reasonable thing to maybe help us kickstart this.
And Michael is posting all of that in our IRC chat, which if you're joining from YouTube or Google+, you can jump over to foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live and join us in our IRC chat. It'll also be in the video description down at the bottom once it's on YouTube. So. And it looks like we got Brian and Glenn in our chat today. How's it going, Brian and Glenn?
Is that Brian, like my friend Brian? Like our friend Brian, Tech? Or is this some other Brian?
It could be.
Identify your Brian-ness. He said he was going. I just saw a message from him the other day, and apparently he wrote it like a couple weeks prior. It was on Google+. Sorry, I quit using that mostly since they took all the good stuff out. And
he did say he was going to watch at some point.
Yeah, he said he was going to watch the show at some point. I was like, oh yeah. Anyway, hi. Oh, I was in the hospital. I had surgery this morning.
Ouch.
Really?
Surgery. Was it related to your last week's massage?
No.
That's good.
No, I just had a procedure. They put me to sleep for to show some thing down my throat to explore. They had to go where no man has gone before, and bring back some samples and stuff.
Probably left a great aftertaste. That's where
your internet sucks this morning. Left a great what?
That left a great aftertaste. Yeah, because I'm trying to let Michael have some MAMEs. He's gonna have to.
It's funny. They gave me a thing of lidocaine to swallow. That had a bad taste, but no, I went and got a cappuccino and a breakfast burrito. Had to fix that.
Is my internet better now that I turned off the home cloud?
Yes.
Oh my, yes.
What did you turn off?
Own cloud, because I was trying to give you some names.
Oh.
Oh shoot! Oh yeah, that was doing it, wasn't it?
There are some in there, so
okay, well that's what I need.
They're under software and resources, ROMs. Actually, there's a crap ton in there. You can use those.
Oh, good lord, yes there are. Okay, so let me see if I can. Just give me a few more minutes, guys. I'll have something for you here very, very shortly.
I got Kill 'Em All down yesterday to yet again, thinking I was going to release it to everything down to a small problem when it updates. It does not replace the existing file, and although everything else works fine, it just doesn't replace the old file with the update file. And I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. And it is Brian. Anyway. Hey Brian. And
Hey, Brian.
gosh, I forgot what I was talking about. Thanks, Brian.
Kill 'Em All update, small issue.
Oh, and so the update issue, yeah, so I was like, I'll just restart the app and then do it again. But then I thought, and then just release it. And then I thought, well, why is there? There's got to be an open file handle to it or something. Why is there? Let me find that. And so I was like, all right, screw it, I'm going to bed. And then this morning they were like, don't do anything that requires judgment or thinking today after the anesthesia. So
What?
I was like, oh, because I got to go code after the show. And then she's like, show? Code? You can't do that. Like the hell I can't. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, I found an interesting issue. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to handle it, but with the beta protection filter enabled, it doesn't update to the new app. You have to like close the old app and start the new one manually.
You have to close the old app.
Yeah, so like it updates, but instead of starting the new app, it runs the old app still. And then once you close it and launch it again, it runs the new app.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why.
That sounds almost like that my problem. But anyway, it could be. I mean, is the file system monitor? Is it successfully stopping the monitoring?
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how I'm gonna handle it because when it's running your version, it's updating, and then it's not running the new version with your version because your version has to run the new version. And it's not doing that for some reason.
So it's just not running your new copy?
Yeah, it just runs the old copy still, but this is only with the program filtering enabled. It works fine without the program filtering enabled in the old version.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, you probably need my help with that.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do for that, so we'll look at it. But good news on that. And hi, Brian. I'm not sure what Brian you are, but they seem to know you, so hi.
That's Tank and I. We have a friend named Brian from Tank's area. We used to do a band together and rock out.
Is he the one that is sometimes over at Tank's house and had come over to
Yeah.
old
No. Well, he is, but we've never seen him sometimes at Tank's house.
Oh.
So that's a different
Will,
guy.
I think you've seen.
Yeah, that's Will. That's who it was. I've seen Will. Well,
But he is sometimes at my house.
Oh. Okay. I did find one interesting thing. That link that I just posted is the new Star Trek Beyond trailer. So they've come out with a trailer for the next Star Trek with the refreshed lineup people.
Why do they continue to call it Star Trek?
Because Star Wars is taken.
Yeah.
Mm.
They could change it to Star Force, but that'll just sound like a sci-fi channel.
Why isn't that Star Trek? It's got the Federation and the Enterprise.
I don't see.
And Kurt.
Well, they could call it something different. I mean, because it's not Star Trek. It's got nothing to do with Star Trek anymore. Hasn't in a long time. It's just all new. Who cares? Stuff. It's different. It's like different movie. It's like a different movie in a different universe. It just.
Well, just change it from Trek to track. Star Trek.
Yeah, it uses the same themes, but then a lot of movies use the same themes and characters. Come on. And they have different names. Anyway.
Brian seeing the Star Wars premiere on Friday at 1 p.m. It's got good
Another
reviews.
thing, same goes for Star Wars. Actually, no, the same doesn't go for Star Wars because I guess they were all books and stuff originally, weren't they?
But no, he wrote it as
Something?
one massive script to start off with.
Oh, one.
Star Wars was never
Okay.
And then
originally
split it
books.
up.
Oh, okay.
That had to be a funny meeting. He goes in and he's like, all right, I got a script for you. And they're like, no, you have a script for 9 movies here. Not one.
And
Yes,
we really
and
don't like the way it starts. So let's just skip a little bit of it.
Yeah. You know, this middle section's probably going to be your best bet here.
That's probably
And it was, because we've seen the first section. It was not good.
Yeah, it was not as good.
Actually, it was. That's a shame about that whole Jar Jar thing too.
I wish. Well, they're
That's really
saying
a shame.
that
Because I mean, I guess he wrote the whole thing at once, so then he's got the whole story mapped out. So then, you know, if Jar Jar is supposed to be an evil douche and come and do his thing, then that's what they should continue to do. Just because of people, oh, I don't like that character. Well, guess what? You're about to not like him even more because he's not going to do anything cool now ever.
yeah. I would think.
I
he
mean,
would
they
be
could have had him take off his goofy mask and just look uglier, you know, later and just quit talking funny. I mean, it doesn't have to. They could have called him a new name even, but it could have been the same dude. You know? He could have just jumped out of his skin and been like, "Grah!" But no.
Are you serious about all this stuff? You guys are talking some craziness.
Well, he said Jar Jar was. He said the other day that they was talking about something about an interview or something. Jar Jar was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a disguised Sith or something.
Well, he's not like actually in a physical disguise, but he is supposedly a.
Well, right.
Yeah,
But,
he's supposedly a Sith master. So he's supposedly a.
They brought Jar Jar back?
No, that was the original plan, but because people don't like him, they're not going to do it because they are douches.
Brian, Disney has said that they wouldn't make any reference to Jar Jar in any of their movies, and they're doing all the next 6 movies. So Brian said
That's
he
kind
heard
of crap.
Jar Jar remains.
I like to see him the way they were supposed to be seen.
They're
I
going
think
to
he
show
means like
Jar
his
Jar
corpse.
being dead in the 8th episode. that might be alright. I really would like to see him be like evil. That would be awesome. Like if they came back.
Glenn had the chat open and no video. He's like, what's going on?
You know, evil Jar Jar would be the only acceptable way that you could bring him back.
Yeah.
He'd have to be evil. And I would pay a little extra to see him come out of the skin like John said, just, "Arr!" That would just be funny.
Yeah. Yeah, his bones will
Well, if
be
that had been in
exposed.
disguise, maybe that would explain why he was so retarded.
Well, like, and I went back and watched the first episode.
It was Yoda all along.
I went back and watched the first episode again, and it's when he takes them to his city that he got banished from or whatever, like everybody backs away like in fear, like they're all scared of him. So it does kind of make sense that they were afraid of him, not just he was clumsy. Like you wouldn't back.
I seem to remember thinking that at the time.
Yeah.
I seem to remember thinking at the time that he was too goofy to be real. He was, you know. And I seem to remember noticing stuff like that because I was like, this guy's gonna come out and because I think I was watching probably Proctor, you probably remember, I was probably watching it with Adam or somebody, and he was all, oh, this is stupid, guy character or something, and I'm pretty sure I was like, nah, he's probably gonna come out with somebody's ass, and never did, but it's good to know that it was a part of the plan anyway.
Yeah, well, he did like in the drone battle, he like killed like 5 or 6 droids without really even trying, and actually looking like he was just making mistakes. But I mean, like,
yeah, I'd have to go back and watch it again with this knowledge. But I do remember thinking at the time that something like that was bound to happen, just because the character was so obviously fake, you know.
Yeah. But everybody thought it was a ploy for drawing in younger crowds, which it could have been that as well. We'll never know now. We'll never know.
We'll never know if it was a ploy or if it was... Oh, that didn't work. Tell him it was part of the plan to do this. I
don't get the drawing in younger crowds thing. When I guess maybe it's different for younger crowds now, but when I was a kid, this was the younger crowd thing. Star Wars was, and you didn't have Jar Jar. With some Ewoks, but that didn't make you want to go see the movie, did they, Proctor?
Well, I think Ewoks.
Because you had this.
Made people.
We had R2D2.
Proctor had this set of Star Wars sheets, man. I remember that.
Yeah. I was a kid when the first 3 movies came out, and I loved them. I didn't need a Jar Jar to like the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Although I liked the Ewoks as a kid.
I had an interesting...
Well, I did like the Ewoks, but they didn't need the Ewoks to make me like the movie.
Right.
Exactly.
I had an interesting tweet after the most recent Walking Dead about Ewoks. I was like, why aren't the people in Walking Dead building tree cities? Because
they
can't climb ladders, so they should all just be living like Ewoks. Ewoks don't have to worry about zombies.
That's true.
There's a lot of... Didn't they try that in one of the Resident Evils or something? I saw that something. Too many zombies.
Resident Evil zombies are way more badass than Walking Dead zombies.
Well, I mean, I guess the point is that in Resident Evil, okay, a zombie is a zombie because of what, a virus, a mutation, the thing. But how far can you mutate? Because just when you think that they're safe because they did something that zombies can't, fix, then here comes like a 30-story tall zombie with a big axe. And who manufactured that axe for that zombie? In this post-apocalyptic world.
Oh, they just borrowed mine.
Well, if it was
the slave labor camps,
but if it was Resident Evil that you saw that in, it was the Umbrella Corporation, because those zombies were made to be weapons. So
I watched all those movies. None of them were bad at all.
Yeah,
I heard they're doing the final chapter for Resident Evil.
I love Resident Evil. That's probably my favorite zombie movie.
I did too. I can't wait to see how they get out of this last situation they were in. In the White House.
Was that where they were?
It was like the White House, yeah.
Were they?
Yeah, they were held up in the White House, and then they were surrounded by an entire world full of fire and zombies.
What was the name of that one?
And Resident Evil.
No, I know. Thank you. But Apocalypse, Resident Evil.
Yeah, probably the one that sounds like the end of the world, because that was it.
They all sound like the end of the world.
I can tell
So-
you I have all of them
I
here.
think I almost
It's
got
the
this.
last one. Go to IMDb. Come on.
It's like Retribution or something.
Yeah, Retribution. That sounds.
I don't know, but if I ever get a zombie apocalypse, I hope we get Shaun of the Dead zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see there was Cockneys versus Zombies?
I've seen that. That's a fun movie.
It is. It is. I liked it a lot. I was surprised at how much.
I like the one with Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray.
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
love that one.
Good too. Absolutely.
But yeah, yeah, I quit watching The Walking Dead, so F them. Walking Dead. Yeah, I said it. AMC, bye.
Their ratings.
That
have been
last
going
episode
down.
did not treat you well.
No, it was the
No, I haven't
second
watched
to
it in
last.
weeks.
It was the
That
second
was
to
the
last
last
that he didn't
episode.
like.
John
No,
had
I didn't
the-
watch that. No, I didn't. I haven't watched
I'm
the
sorry.
last 3 or 4 of them.
No, the second to last one was where
Because
they
I was
brought Glenn
behind.
back.
Because the week that I quit, I was watching the week before.
Yeah,
On that
I
week, I wasn't even
haven't
watching that
started this.
week.
you quit
Yeah.
on week 8. You watched week 7 because that's where they brought back Glenn. Glenn came back.
Yeah,
in the second to
well,
last
whatever.
episode.
I watched it for but I didn't watch that whole episode. As soon as I saw Glenn, I was like, I can't believe bullshit. Bye.
Nope, I'm done.
They showed that, and I was
I
like,
haven't even started this season.
no. And actually, Jay was like, no, sit down. And then I watched it for another 5 or 10 minutes, and something else completely bullshit happened. And I was like, all right, I'm out.
Resident Evil Degeneration is the most recent one.
Degeneration.
Yeah.
See that.
I hadn't seen that one either.
What? Is that? When was that?
Yeah, 2008. Resident Evil
Oh, then
came
yes,
out
of
in
course we saw
2002. Resident Evil Apocalypse came out in 2004. Resident Evil Extinction came out in 2007. And Degeneration came out in 2008.
I only saw Extinction then. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't see the last. I saw it. I've seen that one.
Yeah.
You have.
did. I need to go. Wow.
I think
Shit.
the
Yeah,
last
well, I
one's
hate to
where they
ruin the ending
opened
for
on
you,
that
but-
that battleship and had a really cool scene with that crazy battleship stuff.
So, anyway, I can do some MAME stuff, possibly. So, let me. Where is this video window we have here? Oh, here it is. All right, let me do a screen share. Okay, so this is MAME UI, and I wasn't able to get the ROMs necessary to run a lot of games, and I'm sure that everyone will find that. But Brantley did hook me up with a couple, which it's hit or miss.
That
So
you
basically, MAME UI comes with a pre-populated list of most games, and then you point it to a ROMs folder, and it will populate those games and materials. Now there are packs to get the snapshots and you know visual graphics of the games and things like that, but I didn't do that yet. But anyway, I've got a 1942 game here, and I think everyone's probably familiar or seen this in the arcade. Question is, when I launch it, are you able to see it? Probably not, but
No, because you can't
This
share
will-
your screen.
You can't window that.
hold on. I can do something here.
I recall being able to window it, but I've never used that particular.
see it
pack,
now?
but-
You see it?
Yeah, we saw it.
Okay, so
There it is.
yeah, so you guys remember this game, right? It's a pretty fun game. So make it super easy with these interfaces, but the actual command line, as I found, the main command line is a little bit more difficult to set up, where you put the ROMs, where you put the base, system ROMs, not just the game ROMs themselves. But
I recall a lot of typing.
yeah, they've made it a little bit simpler, but basically, I think what I've found, at least in trying to quickly get it up, you won't quickly get the main command line up and running in comparison to something like MAME UI. And there's other front ends too, MAME, not just this UI one, but I sort of thought this was good and easy. And at least I can finally demonstrate, you know, a game that's actually working. One thing that I haven't done a whole lot of is the controller setup for this, and I don't have a controller, but ideally you would want a controller or a joystick or something in line with what the game would have originally needed. So, you know, a nice little stick for the 1942 would probably be ideal. Let's see. Like I said, this MAME UI does everything for setting up the games, and you can just go here to directories. See, I pointed it to where I had stuck my ROMs, and it just basically searches this list, and it'll populate. As you can see, I have this game and this game. Well, actually, you can't see that, but I'll show you again. Where is it? There we go. See, we have 1942 and 43 in green. And there's a couple of others that you'll see in this list, but most of them are black. If they're black, they're not there. But as you can see, the scroll bar in this, there's definitely thousands of games available here. So,
if you happen to have a game that's not in their pre-populated list, can you add it?
Yeah, you can. That's where it gets to be a little bit more difficult, though. First of all, it would be rare. You would pretty much.
It's like a pretty
yeah. So
list there.
Yeah. Well, what you can.
I didn't realize it was a 1945.
Yeah.
I remember
So
3 and 4.
if you right-click, so let's actually go up to the 1942. Revision A. So we go to properties, and so this is where you do all the setup of it. But
rock on. So that's what takes away the crappy command line. Yay.
Yeah, all this stuff is what takes away the crappy command line. Exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with the command. I like the fact that it's there.
But I don't think anybody wants to go through what is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tabs of settings, basically. And notice this was for a Z80, running at both 2 Z80s, running at 4 and 3 megahertz. So you know, all these games, even a original Pentium is capable of emulating most of the older.
Hey, cancel it out. Tell me something. How is the MAME project running all these games now on modern computers? Is it still okay? I mean, because I know there were some issues for a while. Or do you do much of this? I don't know.
No, it's
you
not.
know, because of the timing of the modern computer, like the timing of the.
Yeah, no. MAME has taken care of that. MAME has been in development for over 14 years, and early on, there were issues, and it only ran, I believe, initially when it was released, it only ran 3 games.
Just because you were talking about just the performance you were talking about, like yes, like a 486 or 386 ought to be able to run most of this stuff just fine. Mm-hmm. If you can find one Windows on it, but or whatever. But this I used to have performance issues running games on modern systems just because of the
problem. Not with these older games, John or Nick. So for
no, it was with older games. It was performing. Yeah. Well, it was like it would scale. It was games just like 1942 was probably one of them I tried to play.
Well, I'll tell you. Look, the games use Direct3D and DirectDraw and all the regular, you know, Windows platform stuff. So that has probably improved its performance. It's possible when you were first using it that they didn't have any acceleration or anything like that to help the games along, and you probably had a significantly lesser
having
system
something to do with timing.
Yeah, well,
it wasn't really performance. It was so much of an issue. It was something about the timing of the way the code was written for the processors then.
You can artificially
and then not convert. I mean, not converting code or not changing code at all. Taking an actual dump of that code and then emulating the processor that it's supposed to run on is what was the timing. That was what was.
They are emulating the specifics of the machine down to the actual. As you can see, they're emulating a Z80 running at 4 megahertz and a Z80 running at 3 megahertz, which was what was in the gift scene set up for 1942. And
now, I guess are they doing that? But is this just across the board? Or are they doing this for different?
So yeah. Well, they do it for a lot, but,
All right,
but here's
find me Street Fighter. Find me Street Fighter 2 Alpha Edition.
Okay.
Alpha 3. Street Fighter 2 Alpha 3. See if you can find that in the list. I want to look at that settings.
See, the idea is to have an exact the exact representation of the game. So they want the game to play on a modern computer the same way that it played at the arcade. Oh my God, this list is way too long.
You can type ST in the list, I'm sure. STR. Little straight space. Just keep going. There we go. Street Fighter. Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see what we got. Well, I want Street Fighter 0. No, go back up. No, back up a little bit. Back up. Just back up. I don't know. Back up. Just go back up. Where's the alphas?
There was an alpha at the bottom.
Champion, EX. Those. Oh, wait. Stop. Street Fighter. Was it Alpha 3? Where's Alpha? Oh, well. Alpha 3. All right. Let's try Alpha 3. Go up there. Street Fighter Alpha 3. US. There's something just to have a frame of reference here.
Okay, so
let's look at those and see what happens.
Yeah, so this is different CPUs that it's emulating, including all the peripherals. And again, they want exact reproduction.
They got that Q sound processing.
Yeah, this game would obviously, as you can see, compared to the 1942, this game requires significantly more hardware to make work. In fact, that's a Motorola 68000 CPU. That was a general purpose, and so was the Z80, frankly, but it was much more powerful than a Z80. This was, you're talking about I think that was 16-bit, and the Z80 was only 8-bit. Actually, no, they were probably 16-bit too, but. Anyway, long story short is the game should run as it was intended, and none of these options are really all that different. For their emulation speed is always at 1 for all of these games. Ooh,
you could really make Street Fighter Turbo.
I mean, you can force it if you go in like the command line. You can. There's a key that you could press that will increase the game speed or slow it down. But But again, by using that and engaging in that, it's gonna change the game experience from what it was originally, and most people want the original.
Hey, does this one also have a shortcut key and allow you to save your progress in the game, like a NES emulator? Or
yeah,
something?
it does. It takes snapshots and save states. I guess is what they call it. So even if the game, which most of these games don't have saving abilities,
right,
they're designed to be quarter pump. So that's fun, I guess. And you do have, you can customize it a bit. I'm not saying this is the prettiest necessarily interface for it. This is just the first one that I got working, and I could easily scan a ROM folder and it work, and I didn't have to do where are we?
That's pretty neat, because everything I've done before didn't have a database of games, and it was just like, hey, here's how you configure a game when you get one.
They didn't even have instructions. Golden Age,
except for the command line. Oh,
what? Nothing in there. Anyway, apparently this has all the. See, what I didn't, and I never quite figured it out, is how. It had the BIOS files for these games, the original firmware for some of these things. A lot of that times is you have to be very careful. Sometimes you'll get a ROM that's just the game ROM. Sometimes you'll get a ROM that's the entire system ROM, so it'll have everything, including the game, and other types of stuff. I didn't get into all the details of that, but I highly encourage you guys to look at those links that I posted, mameworld.info and mameui.info. Got a lot of good stuff on there. I just hadn't had time to go through it in incredible detail, but it's really nice to get for people who are.
I really like it only to see the
retro
differences
type.
in the different games. Like I had, like when I was younger, because Street Fighter was really the only arcade game that I was big into, and when I was younger, I remember running across the Street Fighter 2 Turbo at the mall one time in Greensboro that had it had been tweaked out, and it was called the Rainbow Edition or something. And you will probably find it in the search here because I have it. and it was like tweaked out to where the people, they took the logic of the game and they tweaked it so you could do fireballs that went up and down and do things in the air that you couldn't normally do. And
well,
all
there's
kinds
some
of
people
weird
that
stuff.
hack these ROMs, and they make.
But this was back in the day, and it went against the licensing terms of having the equipment.
Michael, it's in
But,
the bottom of the second column.
What's
But
that?
some of the arcades would actually modify these things themselves, and
Look at the bottom of that column. Scroll
Not working.
down. Street Fighter
Yeah.
Champion Rainbow Edition.
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, so I've got that. But I mean, so I always loved seeing the little different games, so you can like find the game that you used to love or something, and maybe find a little variation on it that's cool. Or
Yeah, well, I've never been exposed to the Rainbow bootleg or whatever it is, but that sounds interesting. Now, look at this, though. Look at these. These are all the system BIOSes that this apparently supports. I don't have these in here, but look at all the potential systems that you would be able to emulate.
that's a lot more than MAME.
Well, do you even know what ZN1 and ZN2 was? I mean, I'm sure these are very...
No, but I saw Sega and Super Nintendo in there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, regular.
Yeah. So it's grown up.
Oh wow.
Super System BIOS.
Yeah.
There's some interesting things. I'd have to look up on all this, exactly,
Yeah, I don't understand a lot of that is. You know what? And maybe those are all arcade BIOSes. I mean, I'm sure most of them are, but maybe they all are. Maybe the Nintendo one is. I don't know.
Yeah, it very well may be. I mean, I think
Sega I know did some arcade.
Sega
BIOSes.
definitely did, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo had machines as well.
Also,
but-
I'd like to point out that a lot of these games you can play on the Internet Archive in your
Oh
web
yeah,
browser.
point to that. That'd be great. Can you?
That does save a lot of working and tweaking, doesn't it?
Yeah, I put the link in the chat.
Awesome.
They call it
Oh,
the Internet
wow.
Arcade.
Yes, little bookmark.
I
Doesn't
would be
use Java,
surprised if this used some sort of
I
like
think it's HTML5.
HTML. Yeah, it. I was gonna say it's like they wrap MAME in HTML5.
Okay, because I was gonna say, man, if that's Java, man, we can't be giving that out. That's bad. Or Flash, bad.
Oh,
boy.
Defender. It's been ages since I've played Defender. Click to begin. Downloading emulator data. Yeah, it is based upon MAME. So yeah,
Hey,
fuck setting up MAME. Just
Glenn, if
just
you're
go
gonna
here.
build a box
Oh,
for
crap.
arcading stuff, I highly recommend that RetroPie on a Raspberry Pi. Super cheap, super easy, and you can get up and running in no time with it. You just need some ROMs.
Get my mom on this website and get her off of that pogo crap.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Remember 1942?
see
Drop that
controls
bejeweled.
here.
Get your butt over to this website.
Hey, also, another interesting thing that I forgot that I found, FAA announced their drone regulations, and they're going to require everyone with a drone to register by February 19th, and to put your registration number on your drone, and if you're caught flying a drone without a registration number, you can be fined up to $5,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
But they're not gonna, are they going to restrict the sale in any way or the technology?
Nothing
I guess at this
mentioned-
point?
Nothing of that mentioned yet. Also,
Because
I
I
don't think
really don't have the money to buy the drone like you have right now, but I really, 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 really want it. I want to get it next year, and I don't want them to take it away.
yeah.
My
So
ability to
far,
buy
they
it.
don't have
Come
any
on, Glenn,
regulations
are you
on
having
that.
some trouble? You
What?
having some trouble, Glenn?
Who?
What's this? Ouch. he's talking about.
No, Glenn was saying he's going to do the Raspberry Pi for a Retro Pi gaming system.
For his grandparents?
For his grandkids.
Oh, kids. Yeah, that'd be perfect. And they actually sell, by the way, for about $30 or $40, they have these retro gaming systems that typically come with dozens or even potentially hundreds of games. And you can, they'll hook
really
up
not worth the price though. It's like 50, $80 for one of them, and you only get one system.
What?
Well, I mean, some are cheaper. Some are $40 or $50, and halfway, for a dedicated device that there's absolutely no setup, and you just want your kid to rip out of the box and hit the ground running with. I think it's reasonable. It can be, and I even know an adult that purchased one of them and uses it. But I do think that there's certainly more flexibility.
Do y'all hear that as well?
Yeah, I'm slowly dying.
Turn off your F drive if you have that syncing right now.
Oh God, is that what's happening?
Maybe. Glenn's also gonna build an Untangle box. Awesome. My Untangle box died yesterday because of my power outage because of this terrible city that I live in. My hard drive died on it. I had an SATA drive in it, and now it does not work anymore.
That's sad. Did you ever look up the warranty information on it?
No, not yet. And Zombie Worm said you're going into the Matrix because of your internet dying.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually not syncing, so whatever you were hearing,
it's just your bad internet speeds.
I don't know. No, I got good internet speeds. I've got 10 down, or 10 up and 100 down.
That's why his smooth wall is dead. Was that from your power supply burning up that actually took out a smooth wall router?
Ouch.
Ouch, if so. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
I do think but getting back to the drone thing, I do think there needs to be a certain amount of accountability, particularly after that story, and I'll relay it here if I didn't already mention it before, but I believe it was in England or Britain somewhere, there was a guy, and he was flying his drone outside, and he was bringing it into land, and he clipped a tree, and he heard a scream, and his next door neighbor had her son, a little son. I'm not really sure why he was outside playing on his own. He was a toddler. Oh no, I think it was extremely young, right?
I was the one that told you about this.
Okay, yeah, the toddler, and cut his eyeball in half, and the parents apparently forgave the guy, but the guy's like has a guilt trip, and he says he won't fly a drone ever again. I'm not saying it was his fault. I don't think he did it deliberately, certainly, and things, but there does need to be some accountability, and I can see if everybody just decides to get a drone for Christmas and nobody has any flying experience with it, I can see a lot of people potentially getting hurt, and not to mention the potential aviation problems and other things.
About this, though,
it's
if I just
sad, but it's necessary, unfortunately.
If I just said it's flying off from my backyard, how are they gonna A, know, and B, track me? Like, how are they
okay, in other countries, they're trying to do this in other countries. In other countries, they're building slightly larger drones, larger than the average size of most consumer drones, and they're attaching a net to it, and the drones are going to go out and hunt other drones. And, apparently there's some radio signal homing that they can do to determine where the controller is in relation to, and that way they can get it back for the unregistered people, and at the very least they can just take somebody's drone legally if it's not registered, so it would be a way for them to enforce it. Now that's what they're doing in other countries in Europe, I heard, but I don't know or think that that's going to go or fly here like that, or that's going to happen here, but who knows.
Glenn, I have the Phantom 3 Advanced. The DJI Phantom 3 Advanced. It is a really fun toy, but I mean that's what it is.
I was just reading this. Gosh, I have no idea what we're talking about here. I was just reading. Actually, I don't. But I was just reading this FAA crap, and actually, according to this, they seem to dodge the question like nobody's business. But they of whether RC helicopters and planes would be covered under this, but technically by their definition it is. But in every fact, they say, oh, paper airplanes, no. You know, they keep throwing out things like, oh no, paper airplanes and frisbees do not need to be registered. That is all.
Yeah.
But how many times does a kid go blind because somebody shoots a paper airplane into their eye?
Well, I thought, didn't they did say it was for unmanned aircraft, so those would be an unmanned aircraft.
Technically,
there's a guy that makes boomerangs. There's a guy that makes boomerangs that you showed us that he put the camera on.
Actually, guys, it's also includes the equipment, even if you don't have the aircraft. According to this, a UAS is the unmanned aircraft UA, and all of the associated support equipment, control station, data links, telemetry, communications, and navigation equipment, etc., necessary to operate the unmanned aircraft. The UA is the flying portion of the system flown by a pilot via ground control system, or autonomous, through the use of an onboard computer.
This is why they told you not to work, John.
Equipment that is necessary for the UA to operate safely. FAA issues an experimental airworthiness certificate for the entire system, not just the flying portion of the system. So anyway, according to their definition, all you RC modelists, and even if you build it, it said somewhere else, if you build your own UAC or UAS, I'm sorry. Gosh, man, this is why. Yeah, I'm still under sedation. If you build your own UAS, then you're not supposed to. Then you have to register it. So that qualifies. You RC people, suck it.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see where it all progresses over the next year. So.
If my drone is a gift, do I need to register? Is this to say? Gosh, what was the terminology? What was that? But yeah, and it's anything that flies without a person in it. And it weighs more than 0.55 pounds at takeoff.
What if I put like a little
250 grams at takeoff
or
less,
and
250 grams at takeoff or less, and must have cost $100 or less. Original purchase price. To be deemed a toy, and to be deemed a toy, and not part of this UAS.
Interesting.
Definition.
That's gonna.
So you
that's
don't have to register the Millennium Falcon drone. You can get it Toys R Us.
Apparently, you're
only
breaking up.
$80.
There, but, yeah.
I think you're breaking up.
Fine.
Yeah, it's you, Bradley. Do I have to register a paper airplane or a toy balloon or a frisbee? That's what it was. They say it's all around it, but they do not say anything specifically about RC controlled stuff, but it is exactly falling under this definition, and that's the big controversy. I think that people are really just, it pokes me in the side, though, but when you favor one group over another just because of
technicality.
Yeah, the technicality that it's easier to fly a modern aircraft, hobby aircraft, than it is a not modern hobby aircraft. So
yeah,
it opens up the possibility of more people doing it.
You would have thought those would have been required to register far before now. It was just because they weren't.
I know.
That's the only reason they did this.
It's the only reason because they're lazy.
Well, no, they expect
because they're lazy.
They expect to have like probably 10 to 30,000 times more sold than what RC
Yeah, and see, well, and it wouldn't be worth it, but it wouldn't be worth the effort in doing so before, because they would lose money doing it, and now they get to make money on registration fees and stuff.
Yeah.
But I forgot. Oh, I was going to relate it to ham radio and the licenses that you need to operate that.
Another massage?
But I forgot how I was going to relate
No,
that.
he was Glenn. That's right. You got in a little late, Glenn. It was he had an operation this morning, and so he was under anesthesia, and they stuck some heavy equipment into him, and he's just coming.
They shoved a bunch of things down my throat, and they came out with souvenirs.
Yeah, that's crazy. They should put back everything they take out. They put in.
What?
Or, no. They should only take. They shouldn't take out more than, I don't know. Don't do that.
Yeah, I had to be at the hospital at 6:30 a.m. I was like,
Oh,
groggy. But my doctor didn't have to be there till 8.
you got
and was late at that. And I was like, why don't you just sedate me while I'm waiting? I could just wake up. And no, she has to be
I
here.
would love waiting rooms then, let me tell you. It would be the best thing. Yes, please. You go up and you pay, and then they just jab you in the arm and knock you out. And then you wake up like 2 hours later. They're really
all done.
Yeah, all done.
They don't warn you, they just jab you, and there's like a whole pile of people sleeping right beside the check-in desk.
Oh.
Like, alright, grab that one, the bottom of the pile.
They're all numbered like with stickers and shit. Like, number 252.
Hey, I did find something else pretty interesting. This is probably what I'm going to do my show on Friday about. And this article is about a company that's coming out with a laptop pre-installed with this system, but you can actually download this OS and run it. And what's different about it is it's aimed towards security and privacy via separation. So it's actually running Zen Hypervisor as a hardened version of it, and it runs multiple virtual machines, and that's how you run your system, which has long since been a recommendation for security or enhanced security, is having a virtual machine for your personal search crap, virtual machine for your business, and then a virtual machine for your high security stuff. So
you also need a laptop equipped with a trusted platform module.
most laptops come with TPMs nowadays.
Really?
Even Chromebooks do.
My
Really?
my Chromebook desktop does.
Oh, interesting.
But, no, I
okay,
guess-
well then I guess that's not too big of a entry.
I would say
hurdle,
most
yeah.
systems that run Windows
It was the first
8
thing it made me
will,
do. Like, I turned it on, it was like, hi, I'm a Chromebook. Write down the TPM number. You know, and I was like, really?
They didn't. They don't make us do that for any of my stuff, though. That is weird. That Chrome made you do that instead. I don't know when you would need that number, though,
I have no idea either.
to recover stuff.
I actually wrote it down. I was like, okay. I was like, I don't ever recall needing this, but okay. Sedation.
I am interested in this Qubes OS. It seems,
Yeah, I'm not sure clear how to pronounce it exactly. Let's see.
since their logo is a cube, I would imagine it is probably Qubes OS. And it would make sense if
Yeah.
they're running multiple boxes at a time. So.
Oh, hey, Proctor!
Interesting. That should be fun, Bradley.
I
Excellent.
just wanted to go, ha ha!
What are you ha-haing about?
The upgrade to TeamViewer 10 we just did. I've been getting, by the way, please buy 11 for weeks now.
Yeah, I hate them. They're gonna.
Like they haven't even waited till they've sent us the receipt for 10 first.
Well, that you do.
I was like, I recall this happening with 9, so.
They'll give us 50% off the price, but that's it.
Yeah, I talked to them. They'll give us 50% off the price of 11, which seems like it was like 4 something.
Brantley, your lower third
Oh
is
my.
backwards. He's saying, is that true? No, it's not.
Well, that's better. They only offered me 10% off of 10 right after I bought 9. So.
My lower third in this. Oh yeah, no, it will be backwards because I'm sharing my screen from my Hangout, so it's gonna be backwards.
You can swap it.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah,
Have you by chance?
It mirrors the whole
received a
image.
registration number for 10.
We haven't?
When did you?
I haven't seen it.
Shot.
I had a support person enter the key into my system at home, but I don't have the key.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, do me a favor then and reply. Here, let me forward this to the ticket system.
Okay.
And then reply to this email to the salesperson and ask them where the F your product key is to 10 before you start trying to sell 11.
Will do. Yeah, I was peed too. I mean, if we known 11 was coming out, we could have just waited a few months and got 11.
But we do. I mean, it's like the only thing is that this year. Well, they come out with a new version every single year if you pay attention or so. But what they've been doing, I think, the last few years is coming out with a new version like every 10 months. So it like sneaks up on you quicker than or something. It seems like.
Yeah.
Seems like this one. Seems like when they came out with 10, it was in Q1, and now here it is Q4 of the same year.
The last time I used a new feature was something like of TeamViewer, was something like in TeamViewer 7 or 8 or something like that.
No, we all know I have never used a new feature in TeamViewer since I've been on since version 4 or 5. But I'll tell you what. The only new feature I use in TeamViewer is the ability to connect to all those free upgrades they give out to everybody running the client.
Yeah.
They won't let you connect to with the old version. Screw them.
Yeah, they are a little bit.
Man,
it's one of the worst. Every shop that I've ever dealt with that had TeamViewer has complained about this. I don't understand how their user base tolerates it and how they're able to get by with it. But I guess they love TeamViewer so much. That's the reason.
Hey, Philthex.
Brian wants to. Hey, Philthex, and Brian wants to know when you moved your shop, Proctor. Did you move your shop? Proctor, he moves his shop all the time.
Yeah, it's a couple times a week he moves.
It's a nomad.
That's what happens when you live in a town that is dying.
I would feel it's like slowly getting absorbed by Greensboro and Winston.
No, it's dying. Well, I mean, the best thing that they could do is take it over and put it out of its misery.
The only good part about here is like the section that's kind of like Little Greensboro, the north side that's new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where I was staying before.
Where
I was staying before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best part of the place.
Well, they are putting a bar next to the old computer store.
Oh, yeah.
They're putting a brew pub in there.
Johnny just said.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Johnny said she keeps hearing me talk, but I'm muted. I'm not sure how that works, but.
Maybe she's in the same house.
Did you guys get rid of BT Sync, or I mean, is everything off that, or what's our status?
We're using the F drive.
Well, I know
I have
that.
not used BT Sync in months.
Yeah, I've had it. I mean, I still have.
Does anybody have a backup of the data though?
I have the data.
Yes,
I did too.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna uninstall it then. That's okay.
I need to get rid of it too. I need the hard drive space.
Yeah, I might go that far as well, but I'll just start with uninstalling it.
Probably stick it somewhere though.
I'll tell you where you can stick it. In the backup folder on the F drive.
Hit the back. Okay, hey, that's a good idea.
Actually, no, most of it is the F drive.
Yeah,
so
I was
no,
gonna say
do
don't do that because most of it's the same. Just
Actually, seriously, what you can do is each of our accounts on the OnCloud, if you go into the web interface on the OnCloud, you can set up your external storage as a folder in your OnCloud account. So, so in addition to F drive, you've also got like documents and photos or something there by default. You can make like a what does it support? Google. Yeah, it supports Google Drive and Dropbox and stuff. So you can like my Google Drive folder, and so I have one for my one of my Google Drive folders, and I have that all routed through the OnCloud. Now, at least for my work stuff. So stuff that I'm putting, so if I have like a lot of data to put on OnCloud, actually, I would probably shove it in the Google Drive folder because I'm not using that it comes with apps. I don't use it for anything else. So I can just use that storage to keep it off of the OnCloud server, but still accessible via the OnCloud server.
do we have unlimited storage on there though? That's like 20 gigs worth of stuff on that drive.
On what drive? What are you talking about?
If he stuffs everything from the BitSync in there.
Oh, I just meant his stuff. I mean, everything from the BitSync is the F drive, but if he wants to show his stuff like that, he just wants to make sure that he still has or whatever, and it's a large amount. I don't know. I think we get, what do we get? We probably don't get much, 5 gig or something with an apps account. You know, anybody know what kind of storage we get with Google Apps?
I don't know.
It's not much compared to the personal. I know that. It's like a fraction of what they give you when you don't pay for it.
Excuse me.
That's fun how the world works these days. We pay for it now, and we get less than we would get if we didn't pay for it.
That doesn't sound right, but
That's how it works.
guys, just FYI, I'm gonna have to run a couple of errands here in a few minutes. As soon as we wrap up the show. So if you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back to coding
an hour
before
or
this
two.
anesthesia wears off completely.
I don't know if that's such a-
Shouldn't you wait? God only knows what's gonna happen. Kill 'em all's gonna go down the shitter the next day.
Hey, I'm using revision control now.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
we'll be alright
Good,
with
good,
that.
It's now called DXW.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Alright, well let's wrap it up then.
Let's do it.
Thanks everyone for watching.
That's good. Yeah. Appreciate you joining us, all, everyone.
Thanks for listening to my rants and not tuning out when you.
Good to hear from you, Brian. And all
Yeah,
our
Brian.
Brian, Glenn, Phil, love you guys. Zombie, always a pleasure. Oh God, you remember that conversation?
I don't think we're ever gonna forget that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know this conversation.
Burned
You
into
were
my
the one
mind.
that had the conversation.
Oh my! I need the donut. That's right. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I still haven't gotten the. Actually, I should probably go ahead and get the donut now because I still got the issue and I'm just Amazon. And Jade's like, "Do you want to go get a donut?" When we left, she's like, "You want to go get a donut now?" And I was like, "No, Amazon."
The D is for donut.
I'll have it come in a plain brown box from Amazon at the door.
And immediately as he drops it off, just rip it out of the box and sit on it immediately. Like, for the guy, why he's still there.
Donut ass me butt. What? Oh, that's on Prime Music.
Might want to
Biggest
refine your
ass.
Amazon shirt. So
Biggest Ass by Alice Donut. Well, this is what I get. Actually, the first one is an inflatable ring. I typed ass donut. Is
It's a good thing.
I didn't want to get Krispy Kreme.
I don't think they deliver Krispy Kreme on Amazon. You would probably, I guess you could get coffee cups, Amazon K-cups or whatever.
Ciao, Glenn.
See you, Glenn.
Alright, join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. foolishit.com/live, foolishtechshow.com. Jump in our chat and ask us support questions or anything about our software.
Because that's what we're actually here for.
Yeah,
And when you
surprise.
don't ask us questions, hi.
We got to play MAME. Yeah, so